Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Student Spotlight, where we showcase some of the work our past students have done. I'm Ingrid, and with me here is Carson, who participated in the Rethink essay competition. This year, it is our pleasure to have him on the episode and have him share his experience with us. So, start things off, Carson, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what year of high school you're in, what your academic interests are?
Yeah, so I currently attend a school in Seoul International School, situated in South Korea. This is my second last year of high school, so I'm currently a junior. Um, and my academic interests, or I plan on majoring in international relations and political science. So you could say I'm interested in diplomacy, politics, and so forth. Yeah.
Mhm. How did can you tell us how you discovered CCIR and this essay competition?
So I discovered CCR actually when one of my teachers at school kind of recommended me the program. Also, I have
Mhm.
a few seniors that are interested in applying to Cambridge University. So when I searched Cambridge University up, the first thing I kind of got was CCIR program. So I was just wondering if I could win any awards or participate in anything affiliated with the university. So here I am.
Okay. So is it like your first time entering an essay competition like this, or have you had past experiences?
This is my second time entering for an essay competition. The first one was John Locke a year prior, but yeah.
Okay. For our listeners who are new to the Rethink Essay Competition, it is an annual competition, and the mission has always been to promote critical thinking and an exploration of a wide range of thought-provoking and sometimes controversial subject matters. This year, there were 10 essay prompts, and they were contributed by professors from our distinguished faculty network, ranging from mentors from Harvard, Brown, UC Berkeley, Cambridge, Oxford, and MIT. Along with each prompt, a list of recommended readings is also provided to encourage students to dive into the subject matter from various perspectives. So, Carson, which prompt did you choose and what drew you to the topic?
So I chose the prompt under public health and sustainability. To read it out for you, it says discuss the conflict of sustainability, agriculture, and human health. The second question was,
What drew you to the topic?
oh, so what, drew me to the topic of sustainability and agriculture was, the fact that I might do like debate outside of school. So outside of school, we have like a lot of prompts related to discuss like the benefits of organic agriculture and so forth. And I also take environmental science in school. So I was just looking for things that might be related to the topic and kind of more towards the farming health side. And then, that naturally led me to the topic.
Okay. So this seems like all the topics seem a little bit open-ended. They can be interpreted in different ways. Can you walk me through like how you approach this, like working on your essay from like how you approach it, broke it down, and yeah, like how did you tackle this?
So initially, I just looked at things that were kind of related or geared towards agriculture and human health. So just to give you some context, my topic that I chose was factory farming and how zoonotic spillovers that occur from factory farms affect human sustainability and human health. So when I first started writing the topic, I was just scrolling through Instagram, and one thing I found from Inside Business Insider was the fact that these like large industrial farms pollute these waterways and how that affects human health and sustainability of the land around it. So
Mhm,
I
mhm,
initially went for agriculture and human health, but it somehow worked out for me.
mhm. Okay, so you were just found some information on Instagram, and then that kind of like help you define the direction you want to go into. But then how did you like go about like researching and like kind of the process of like writing, editing, and like polishing it before you sent it in?
So in terms of editing, there were a lot of like articles online already about like factory farming. So the first thing
Hmm.
I did was I immediately went to JSTOR, searched up studies done that show, a direct correlation between the effect on human health and factory farming. After that, I just looked at a few studies, found some research. Then one thing that caught my eye was there was this article about the Washington Post that directly stated that these beef industries that are cutting down the Amazon to make room for more factory farms are is like polluting Brazil and harming the
Mhm.
sustainability of the forest. So I use that as like my foundation and expanded upon that by finding sources that maybe like complemented it or kind of broadened the scope of what I was talking about.
Mhm. So, can you tell us a little bit about like what the main argument you were trying to make with your paper?
I actually split mine into three parts. The first part was just a brief overview about the environmental destruction these factory farms have. The
Mhm.
second one was drawing a condition. So the topic was the conflict of sustainability, agriculture, and human health. And what I did was kind of like split it into three different parts, like
Mhm.
sustainability versus agriculture, agriculture versus human health, and sustainability versus human health. So the
Mhm.
first part was just talking about these large farming practices and how these factory farms affect the sustainability of the environment. The second part was
Mhm.
talking about how the viruses that grow or these factories that facilitated the development of these viruses affect human health. And the last one was my take on a solution regarding the problem. So
Mhm.
that was my approach to solving the problem.
So, what was your take to the solution? If you don't mind
Um,
sharing.
yeah, so my solution here was cultured meat, as in like lab grown meat, so that you wouldn't have to cut down or create these factory farms in the first place that pollute the environment. So
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't really expand on my solution too much, but I just gave like the possibility of that happening.
Mhm. Um, so I guess my next question was like, did you approach this with a clear argument already, or were you kind of open-minded, and did you find kind of like slowly through your research that um, your kind of stance kind of wavered a little bit as you were doing your research?
So when I first started writing the paper, I took like a more non-biased like overview kind of approaches, and I'm just summarizing the problem, referencing
Hmm.
like pre-existing research papers instead of giving like an opinion of my own. But at the end, I just found that I had a few words left, so maybe I thought it'd be a good idea to add my take on the solution. So I gave my solution regarding cultured meat.
Hmm. What was like the biggest like learning takeaway or shock from your research that you learned about your topic?
The largest shock would probably be like the amount of destruction being done to, forests around the world to create these factory
Hmm.
farms. I knew
Hmm.
before going on that there are a lot of like these factory farms going on in the world, and I didn't really see how I, as a person, was directly affected by the establishment of these
Hmm.
factory farms. But after researching, I found out that like the swine flu and all these other large pandemics were created as a result of these factory farms. So that was like kind of an eye.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too, because
Mm.
as just like a small, like a kind of small part of the community of the ecosystem, are there any things that you think like an individual person can do to kind of relate it to your topic? Like, how should we choose our meat? How should we choose what to kind of rally for? Any suggestions on that?
Yeah. So after reading the article about the Washington Post, the author of the Washington Post article kind of concluded that the reason why these factory farms were able to proliferate in such a short amount of time is because of the demand for meat in the United States. So I'm not going to tell everyone here to stop eating meat or hug
Hmm.
trees outside, but I'd say one thing that we could do as like listeners to maybe address the problem would be to eat responsibly. That'd be an obvious one, but another one would be maybe to pay more attention to the development of lab grown meat, as I believe that personally it might be a good solution to address the problem.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing your topic. I'm sure a lot of listeners aren't too, like myself, like I'm not too familiar. Like I know it's a problem, but like definitely didn't go dive deep on my own research. So this is really fascinating, and thanks for sharing. Again, I want to extend my congratulations on receiving the Bronze Award for your submission. To give our listeners an idea of the rigor of the competition, each submission undertakes 4 rounds of blind review by scholars from Cambridge, Oxford, Stanford, MIT, and several Ivy League universities. we saw over 4,200 submissions from more than 50 countries, and only 33 winners were awarded. So to receive this high distinction is an incredible achievement. So let's talk about it. What were your reactions when you received this result?
Oh, I was actually in a family vacation in Seattle. I go every year, but my grandparents were just scrolling through my phone, seeing like what I was listening to and so forth. I was just showing them photos that I took before coming to the States. And then when they opened the email, I actually participated with my brother, and we both opened it at the same time. And then I was excited, and my parents were excited. It was a great honor.
Hmm. That's so exciting and very wholesome that you were able to share this with your grandparents as well. How do you think that this essay competition has kind of changed you as a student as you're approaching applying for universities?
Yeah. University wise, I'm still a junior, so I'm looking at the different paths I could take, different universities I could apply to. I might be interested in the University of Cambridge after, you know, participating in the competition, but um, this essay competition kind of shaped me as a student. As after winning, I signed up for like AP seminar course in my school. It was like kind of like a confidence booster, maybe saying that, oh, I might try this out since I already did this competition. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think, yeah, like approaching this competition with no kind of expectations, you never know what would happen. Like you could win, and then it could like kind of solidify that you can actually write at this really high level, um, and compete with students from across the world. Okay, so as a celebration for the accomplishments of our participants, CCIR also hosted a symposium featuring Nobel laureate keynote speakers at the University of Cambridge. And Carson was able to attend this year. Can you share a little bit about your experience and what it was like to be in that environment with other peers and scholars?
Mm. So, there are a lot of things that happen in the award ceremony. I could just go by like a time by time frame kind of summary. When I first went in, at the entrance, there was no one actually there, and no one in the college. Was completely empty and only available to those who actually won the award. So that was an amazing honor, actually. Um, then when I got into the building, we get the symposium in of itself. We get speeches done by these Nobel Award winners. That was inspiring too, but um, they're talking at a very high level in terms of like science and everything. So it was a little hard for me to understand, but for those who could understand, eye-opening too. Um, the dinner itself was amazing, and talking to the other award winners was pretty good too. I get to see like the level of people there who won the awards, honorable mentions too, and it made me feel better about myself actually winning the competition because I didn't really know who won and what the level was, and that really set the standard.
Hmm. Did you meet anyone who did the same prompt as you?
That was something that I was wondering about this entire time because I didn't really meet anyone who got the same or entered the same prompt as me. But I saw a lot of
Mhm.
guys write about AI technology and so forth, but none about the farming
Mm,
sustainability.
mhm, mhm. Do you have any advice for students who are interested in entering the essay competition next year?
Yeah, as I just previously stated, I'm not really sure if I know anyone who won uh, within the same prompt. So one thing I'd recommend is kind of take like a unique prompt because if you take the generic one that everyone else is doing, you're gonna have to beat so many other people who apply with the same prompt, and you're gonna have to like um, show much more pizzazz. But if you go for a unique one, you're gonna have to think creatively. So I'd say the unique one's the way to go.
Hmm. That would be kind of the end of our episode. Do you have anything last, like any last words to share with our listeners?
No, not really. I just like to thank all of you for this opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And we thank all our participants for participating. And you guys are the ones that make the essay competition like what it is right now. So thank you so much, Carson, for joining us and sharing your experiences with our listeners. Congratulations once again on your success with the Rethink Essay Competition, and best of luck with your junior year, senior year, and applying for colleges.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.